I love your film. This is number 5. Oscar Dennis, number 5, right? Am I right?
I'm not good at counting.
No, me neither. So what?
Okay, yes.
What did you call this type of film that you do?
It's like sort of like a essay film or
Essay, something like that. That was really good, and you're so witty, and I just love it. So, the Celine Dion statue, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay.
You know, let's take some steps on that. As Canadians, I tend to apologize to Americans all the time for her.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. She makes great. The Power of Love is amazing, but she's batshit crazy. Okay. So. Yeah.
I started thinking of Canadian musicians that could be statues, and for each one I found reasons someone might want to tear them down. Eventually Justin Bieber saying sorry won't be enough. Do you really think anyone outside of Quebec would go for a Celine Dion statue in place of Sir Robert Borden?
What do you think about tearing down statues?
Yeah, I mean, if they're bad statues, I think that's fine. I mean, that's my, the premise of the film is humorous,
yeah.
But it's not not my opinion. I think that it's a good idea to sort of be more sort of abstract and be sort of more universal in what you depict in big statues. So yeah.
And putting up ideas is a wonderful idea. So that leads me to the second question. What do you think about the dead crow? Have you heard about this?
I have not heard about this.
So in Le Breton Flats, someone used tires, and it's massive, and it's just dropped right in the middle of the lawn.
Right.
And it's a dead crow. Now that's interesting. People are talking. You got to see this. It's great.
Okay.
It's just dead. It's just like, I don't know. Anyone know the history behind this? Google dead crow Ottawa. It's a recent thing. It's going to be here for another maybe like 6 months, and then it's going to move on.
Okay. It's like a government.
Yeah, they paid. How much did they pay? Not much. It was like $1,000. Remember we looked it up, Delaney? It was like $1,000 for the artist. It was nothing, or like 8,000 or something. And it's this massive dead crow as you're walking down the bike path, just right on your left. Yeah.
It sounds good. Like for my limited knowledge of this, not having seen it, it sounds sort of like appropriate. I saw a dead squirrel on my commute this morning. Actually, I think I saw two. I saw one that was sort of pancake style, and one that was sort of like not quite dead yet style.
No.
And, yeah.
There's a lot of pancake squirrels.
It was, I think that represents the city quite well.
Basically, I think people are off the table. We're all fallible, and it seems to me that those of us who make the biggest impressions tend to be the most flawed. That's why I think we should put up statues to ideas, not people.
Just don't eat it. Any questions? Yes.
Should we ever put up statues of people? Ever? In your opinion?
Well, I think that Oscar Peterson is pretty, uncontroversial. I think that there are lots of sort of like people who have, that what they did is sort of neutral or positive, but I don't think that
Terry Fox.
Right. Yeah. But I'm sure that Terry Fox was mean to somebody once.
Little kids used to kick them.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go there. All right,
He used the other leg.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. I will pose for a statue. How do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that was good. That was good.
Fine.
Yeah,
Too controversial.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to say you keep impressing me with your sense of humor every time, and this was so far the funniest thing.
This is my favorite.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like I should say something funny in response, but I don't have any ideas, so.
So you filmed this in your apartment,
I did, yes.
and you have like a lot of books.
I love books.
I love books. Yeah.
Yeah.
Books it's a dying thing, isn't it? Does it break your heart?
Well, it's like older technology, let's say, But yeah, it's just like nothing like the smell, holding it in your hand.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, something about
the tactility of it. I mean, do you read digitally or you just do books only?
No, I read books and I listen to audiobooks.
Audiobooks. I've never heard an audiobook. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were talking. And I walked around. And it's a city much like the town I grew up in. I grew up in Sherbrooke, Quebec.
So you really went to Massachusetts. Massachusetts. How do you pronounce Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
That's how you say it, right? So you really went down there.
I did, yeah. So I think it's cool to go for road trips that are within an 8-hour radius of where I live, because it's kind of like equal to a day of work.
Yeah.
So this town, Lowell, Massachusetts, was about 8 hours away. So I went down there for a couple of nights.
Oh, that's amazing. And you were by yourself filming yourself?
I was, yeah.
You were using a tripod?
I was, yeah.
Did you ever get
No
afraid?
choice.
If you're in the middle of nowhere and use a tripod and you have to stand further away, are you ever kind of nervous that someone's going to come in and steal your camera?
It's happened. Not my camera, but my tripod, yeah. So someone has taken my
I
tripod.
just took your tripod.
Many years ago, yeah. It was very embarrassing to the person who owned. No, it was in Canada. It was just very embarrassing to the person who owned the tripod, and I had to explain why I wasn't bringing it back.
Oh no, it was stolen. They're like, sure.
It happens. I can't even begin to speak of what kind of a monumental impact this great book has had on me.
I was wondering, what was your favorite part about the book?
Oh, I can talk about the book for hours, but I know
grab a
there's
seat
like.
here, hold on.
Oh God, I only got 8 hours of battery.
Yeah, let me just say, every time I read it, and I've read it about 5 or 6 times, I find something new. And that's why I love the book so much. There's a new idea and a new theme that hits me. When I first read it, I was like 17 years old, certain ideas hit me. When I was in my 20s, different ideas, 30s, 40s, etc.
You're right. We understand and perceive the world differently as we get older. Rereading a book, that's amazing. It's like, is there a comfort there in reading something familiar?
Yes, because the characters are like old friends, and it's like you're visiting them again.
Yeah.
And if you wait like 5 or 6 years between readings, then it's like reading it for the first time, because you forget, and you just enjoy it from scratch. It is so cool.
Oh my God, I love that you love books. So your film had the stones, the rocks. Why rocks?
Because it's all about monumental.
Oh yeah, that makes sense somehow. I love it.
It's just a learning experience.
I love it. That's great. So who filmed this?
My mom. It was Aiden.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. And I have a question about your film. And your film was, I was really impressed with your film. It was very emotional, a true story.
Yes.
About the COVID breakup. Would
Yes.
you like to talk a bit about what happened?
Sure,
or
absolutely.
Just for context.
Yes, absolutely.
You can do it, Mom.
Yeah, and
I've never heard this part.
Bring the mic close. Don't worry, they're all drunk.
I can
Just
take
imagine them.
karaoke, but I
Imagine them
can't
naked.
talk.
Imagine them naked.
Okay, hey.
Hey, how you doing?
So I originally wasn't supposed to have any talking at all. It was supposed to be just over a written poem. Now, a month before I separated from my husband, I wrote that poem.
Yeah.
And it was like a really hard time for me. And I thought my marriage was a monumental F up. So I figured that would be a good theme for it. But I love him a lot, and I hope that, you know, he does his healing and I can do mine.
Holy renegade
I think
dude.
that, you know, when you marry someone, if you marry too fast, you don't necessarily know what you're walking into. And we didn't know each other very well when we got married. And immediately we get married and stuck inside forever together. I was blamed for the pandemic. I was blamed for not being able to have friends around. And, you know, it got very physically, mentally, and emotionally problematic.
You get upset and walk out again. It's always you walking out. It's always you walking out. It's all the time. Please, let's just sit down and talk. It doesn't even have to always be like this. Why does it always happen?
COVID messed up emotionally, made all of our mental health get... Honey, just 1 second. COVID made things really hard because if we're already suffering with mental health issues, my husband and I both have ADHD. I'm autistic. So, and then with BPD on his part and stuff like that, it was a big downward spiral mentally, being stuck inside, not allowed to see friends or family, and you know, just feeling very isolated.
Yeah, I know a lot of friends who developed social anxieties over time. It wasn't easy for a lot of people. There was a scene where you guys are arguing and the camera starts shaking. It was really effective. Was that intentional?
Yes, so I thought that I wanted to show when you're in the moment and you're fighting, you're panicking, I felt like I was spinning out of my head. And it's like that moment when everything's moving really fast and you can't think, please don't leave, oh my God, it's getting too out of hand.
Yeah.
And then it's like he leaves, it's slow motion, and then all of a sudden it just gets really effing real. And I wanted to visually show the emotional impact.
And it came across really well. And I really want to, thank you for putting this up there. It's very vulnerable. And when you cry, when you yell, you feel it. It resonates.
Filmed it during a whole day thunderstorm.
I love you, but please.
Like it resonated, and I think it hit every one of us here. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Kiss to forehead, heart to heart, he tore my whole world apart. If I could turn back the hands of time and go back to my wedding day, I would rewrite my vows, and here's what I'd have to say.
Something Delaney had told me was that when you have a real emotion, capture it, and then you can use it in other things. And then I got married on the 14th of September, and I was just thinking this might be something to do because it was close to it as well. And then I started crying about it, real crying, and I was like, okay, all right, hold on, press the button, and I lost it and recorded the whole thing and then threw that in there.
Yeah, sometimes we're sharing real moments, just so you know. I mean, we write something, but the writing comes from us.
Yeah.
I admire someone like yourself who could be so vulnerable and put your emotions on the screen.
Yeah.
I wonder, is it kind of a form of therapy for you to do so?
Yes, but I feel like, so Tage, the guy that played my ex-husband and I, you can actually see one moment where we're outside. It was when he comes up and he kisses me on the forehead. When we were filming that, I felt for 24 hours later that I was involved in that fight. And then, so you do feel all those emotions, and he's been in the same type of positions as me before. So when we look at the camera, we're both distraught. But I think in a way it was healing for both of us to go through all that in an artistic manner.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's just any other questions? Oh, Stephanie.
Are you okay now?
I'm damaged. Like, I found ways to have peace coming here, going to karaoke, and just doing having really good friends and stuff like that in the community. And
don't forget drag next week here at
I promise I will be there.
Why so many energy bottles? Like, do you need to talk to someone?
Yeah.
How did you get so many?
So, I don't drink coffee, and I stopped drinking Red Bull a long time ago. And I used to live in Vancouver. I used to work in the bar industry, and so I'd be up really late and just need that energy and stuff like that. So yeah, especially not drinking coffee.
Yeah.
At some point, probably around 10 years ago, I switched over to 5 Hour Energies. 5 years ago, right before I moved home from Vancouver, I had started to like collect them, like just hang on to a few of them. So I came home with like 100 or a couple hundred. And I was just like, this is like a nice little collection, you know? And then I just never stopped.
Dude, by collecting them, you spawned a supervillain.
That's right.
You're responsible for that. You know that, right?
So that was Energy Man.
I gotta say that shot where you raise the mask and the shadows, it opens up on your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really good. Were you doing that yourself?
Yeah. Those shots were in the basement, were completely by myself.
But how can you see what you're doing?
I couldn't.
Oh, there's probably an app on your phone like me where you can see the footage.
Afterwards. No, I was doing. I had an idea for the shot in regards to like the light coming up like on my chest sort of thing, and that you wouldn't see what the mask looked like. You'd see the back of it, and then as I was holding it up, I just went all the way and could see the light through on either side. I was like, maybe this will be cool.
It was really cool. It was really cool. I love how you cut to the music. Like you cut the shots to the music. Bang, bang, bang. That was really effective. That was like kick-ass.
I've been obsessed with that song or with that artist for a long time. The group, the guy's name or his stage name, if you will, is Really Slow Motion. And he just does the most like epic soundtrack music or whatever, trailer music. But it's all, you're allowed to use it as long as you like, give him credit.
It's definitely a...
Who inspired you for the Energy Man costume? How did you get inspired?
Cocaine and Adderall.
I must admit, when I had the collection going and it started to grow, I have almost 3,000 bottles. But when I started the collection, I was like, one day I'm just gonna make like some crazy prop. And then as I started getting into screenwriting and filmmaking, I was like, he's gonna be a superhero or a bad guy or something. And it just kept escalating. And
it was almost like Predator, like
exactly.
And never feel bad about the things you collect, because I mean I'm just an equal weirdo, and I mean I'm into frogs, old books, and masks. I got 350 masks in my apartment.
What?
Tribal masks. You have to see it. I have 200 frogs in my washroom.
What?
Dude, you have to come and take a shit in my washroom. Okay, so people who come in my washroom, they sit down and they close the door, and after 20 seconds you hear, what the fuck? Like, dude, they're everywhere, like frogs. They're like, why frogs? I'm like, why not?
Why not, baby?
Why not? During the campfire scenes, how did you light that? Because that was lit artificially, pretending it was a fire, right?
Yeah, so we just used an RGB tube that we have. Actually has a fire mode. I've done it the old-fashioned way before too, where you take like a solid color LED panel, slap an orange gel on it, and then you have someone standing there moving it around. But yeah, the RGB tubes we have now make that a lot easier.
That's true, because to imitate flicker, you have to move it around, right?
Yeah.
You know, I've never actually been camping in a place with a lynx before.
Well, you're not really the outdoorsy type. I bet you haven't been camping in a place with squirrels before.
I noticed the sound design was exceptionally good on this one. You could hear them walk on the ground as though the ground unseen was a character. The sound was amazing. You do sound?
Yeah, I did the sound. Actually, this was a weird one. Normally I shoot these things, but I didn't shoot this one. So Ben directed and shot this one in Thunder Bay. And then
so that's why it looked better. I'm kidding, I love you, man. Don't unfriend me. Don't unfriend me, I love you. You're the best. Colin's the best, so you know.
And then I edited and colored and did all the sound design. So most of the stuff was just added in post, so like footsteps and fire crackle and also was fun, but like sound design is really important to kind of make a film that's like immersive and stuff like that.
What I really like about this is that we're expecting a jump scare. And you went the opposite way. You went like a soft, kind of terrifying, scary, like, oh my God, is this real what I'm seeing? And then, you know, softness and like silence.
But like I give guidance on the scripts on how to shape the story and kind of get that where it needs to be.
And you decided to end like soft, like that.
Yeah.
That was really effective. Congrats on that. There was a scene where the camera was going around. So was she holding the camera to her face and turning around like that?
Well, we had, Francis was doing all the cinematography, and that was the one thing that we couldn't do because we couldn't have him run around her. So she had to have her hands held at a certain height. He had to place the camera on there while she spun, and her job was do not drop the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Let's begin. Yeah, I was going to say, there wasn't any intentional voice effect in there.
We hadn't quite settled on our post-production change, so the audio got processed twice. I processed it, but it had already been processed, and I was trying to fix it, and it came out all robot-y. So that was a fluke.
When you take away noise and wind noise and you over-process it, it kind of sounds like it's underwater sometimes.
Yeah.
So kind of an accidental bonus.
And effective.
Yes.
It works. They're just happy accidents, no mistakes. Just Bob Ross. Yes?
How many interruptions did you have? Because that's not the easiest venue.
Well, surprisingly, I tend to be a person that wants everything done in one take. Now, there were a few things we had to do a couple of takes in, but for the most part, we sit there, we don't pay attention to any of the people going on around us, and we do our thing, and then we clear out because we didn't want to be interfering. People were taking turns going up there, getting their pictures done at the Spider. So we kind of fit into that as best we could.
So was this intended to be a series?
It is.
It is a series. Was this the pilot?
It was not the pilot, no. No, so I've written a number of episodes, and next steps is to turn it into a web series. But I was looking for something to do, and I thought, well, let's see if I can put out a 10-minute film.
Yeah, bring my closer.
Oh, sorry. Let's put out a 10-minute film, and that's what we did, and grab bits and pieces of story from various scripts, and that's what we did.
I really like the second mouse.
What's his name? He gets sucked into the drain and battles the French frogs. Why does everybody want to fight the French?
So you have the location, so you can access that location anytime you want, right?
Possibly.
Well, that's good because don't forget, location is character. It's like think of all your favorite sitcoms.
Yes, it is. Thankfully, I have, again, it's all about connections and networking, and I have a friend who works for Paul Rushforth, and they said, you know what? Use the entire office. Take the whole day to it. So it was fantastic, saved a lot of money on that.
Just don't paint the walls in blood, because they come in the morning, oh my God, it's okay, I got this.
And this is what I think of your cheese tray.
Cheese!
You're all. See you!
My actor over there, JC, who played Jean-Guy, he actually sent me photos of him shirtless, which I continue to show to my wife.
Yeah,
Check this guy out. Look at this guy.
It's because you were on Grindr, dude. Like, what the hell? Jean-Guy, or JC, is that your real accent? No.
No, but every time that we would rehearse, and the great thing about Rick is he's very well prepared. So we had like 4 or 5 or even 6 meetings before that. And so every time before we'd have our Zoom, I would be around the house annoying my wife with this voice. and then so when we filmed together, when we finally met each other in person, they were all like, oh my God, that's actually not your voice.
That was so well done, and the characters were well defined, and the angry person,
Cherry.
Cherry. That's her real name, Cherry.
Oh,
Heather.
Yeah, Cherry was amazing.
Is she like that in real life? Like,
Not at all. She's
no, she's sweet. I don't know. But that was really good. That was really good. Any questions? Yes, Ben.
Where can we see more?
I'm working on it.
Because the first step is to write defining characters. Right. And they have their own identity and they stand out. Like, that's really good. You got some funny characters there.
Right on. Thank you.
Oh, what? Are you going to be in it?
No, I'm too old.
Oh, no, come on. Dude. Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, because Susie's like 65, so come on. Well, we'll see. So how challenging was that? Like, do you have a green screen set up in your place?
Yeah, my wife helped me set it up in the basement. It didn't turn out as well as I hoped. The camera angles are off, and it was a little washed out with colors. I'm still learning. So.
Yeah, the challenge of green screen is trying to match the color and the tones and everything.
Yeah.
And my second question is, I noticed when they were talking over the phone,
yes,
you positioned them in the corner, but away. So if they were on the right of the screen, they were facing the right of the screen. Was that a choice?
If you could save one thing in a burning building, what would it be?
Well, come on. Obviously a person.
Or you mean they're looking away from each other?
They're looking away from each other. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was intentional.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to create the impression that she didn't really care. And
yeah, interesting what you can do with angles and positioning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're learning.
Where'd you get the idea for the power?
I just wanted to do something, I guess, a bit different, and I thought, what's the use of a superpower in a world without villains? So I thought, well, maybe we need like a domestic power of some kind, and I racked my brain to try to figure out what that would be, and hot hands just seemed, there's a PG version, and then there's the R-rated version. I thought would have maybe multiple uses, perhaps. So.
Well, personally for me, it would be sexual powers, but I can't because I already have those.
Oh.
What are hot hands?
It's a domestic power. It's all the rage right now. I can literally heat things. Think about all the savings.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Hot hands.
For real?
No, I don't know. I'd like the power to like stop time. You know,
oh, that'd be really good.
Like Dennis, I'd like to sit and read books and watch the world sort of pass by. You know.
Interesting.
So we saw a short monologue from I guess from the film, but. Bone in the Wind is a feature film that we're currently trying to crowdfund, produce, get people behind it, just to kind of make it easier on ourselves. Team of filmmakers that are going to do a really good job.
Mum and Dad tried to keep the righteous path, God-fearing folks as they were, rightfully so. And wanting it or not, I arrived in this new world alone. And reborn.
Once she's talking and it's a close-up on her in the canoe is not moving, right? When they did that?
It is.
It is. So they did it on, like, for real, on the river. Oh, that's interesting. No, they're not afraid of getting their gear wet?
Nope.
Is it a sexual euphemism? I don't know.
Moist.
I'm not afraid.
Moist. We're bringing it back to moist.
We're bringing it back. Yeah. Wow. And where can they find more information about this?
Come chat with me. I can hook everybody up with some information, with some links. We're still looking for more people to kind of support the project, whether you be a part of it through production or just kind of helping out, sharing it with friends, and yeah, it's a really cool project.